Psych. What? What? Who was just talking? Who is talking? Can you hear me? Nice. She said, we came a long way in recent times. All right, these are our starting two. I honestly don't know why it just changed to magically sealed with money, except for a typo. But I'm into it. Oh. The pendant can reverse time a little bit, and it's depending on the charge. It's like if you squeeze the trigger, maybe that reverses time, and up in the corner the pendant, or not really, I guess the best indicator would just be like the glow coming from a pendant on the battlefield. I don't know. At any rate, you could just squeeze that trigger a little bit, like on a GameCube controller. Or shoot, every controller's got a trigger now. But anyway, you squeeze the trigger a little bit, and it kind of rewinds time. And you can just go for a surprisingly long time. You can go infinitely once you get a Tropos. That's her gameplay mechanic. So you don't ever play as a Tropos, but once you make once you make contact with a Tropos, then you get access to like a game mechanic. And that game mechanic is hereby called a Tropos. Okay, perfect. And also change to okay. Excuse me. Too small. That's good. Maybe that's a bit too big. It's still pretty big. Undetermined, undetermined. Okay, so Tropos game mechanic. Unlimited pendant. Atropos, this is opening up a big can of worms. This is opening up the role of arbitration. Atropos has spent time in the Dead Sea and the darkness beyond time because she disappeared into a dissolved timeline for a while in Chrono Trigger. Her systems were damaged beyond repair after her fight with Robo in the Genodome side quest. She expires and then she is restored if you get the good ending. She noticed how Robo thought about the entity and often wondered why she would work against Mother Brain's plans to save the humans. Why do... This is all, I'm not totally sure. Why do Robo and her forsake Mother Brain if it's just for Mother Brain to become Fate in the end, which is just to protect the humans? She is one of the main believers. She believes Fate needs to protect the humans because of her studies in natural biology. She understands why Surge is the assassin of time because his very act of locking Fate out of the flame caused her to fail in protecting mankind. Even though her protection was morally gray, in Atropos' view, it was she was, and when I say she, Fate was always humanity's only hope. Period. And if you make contact with Atropos, then you get unlimited pendant. And Atropos is, let's talk about the Arbiters now. This is one of my favorite topics. We got to get a new screen for that. Okay. And let's see, did we finish all this? Yes. Okay, perfect. And we finished pendant. That's very good. Where's pendant at? I'll find it later. Psych, I'm not going to find it later. I was looking this whole time. The heck with it. I'll actually find it later. We're going to go to our settings. Hey, what's up, man? I'm working on a good one. Today we did. This is in progress. So I'm not really sure what it is. This one is about the pendant. Just recapping how the pendant has a time. Key items pendant can reverse time, and Atropos, if you make contact with her, then you get the gameplay mechanic of unlimited pendant. So imagine you're playing a game that looks like similar to this Christopher J.G.'s thing. You're playing a game like this, and at the beginning you have a very, it's not a mechanic that hasn't been done before, but at the very beginning you have a very limited use of like pulling the trigger on the side of the controller and going backward in time a little bit. And then after you recruit Atropos to the party, then you have unlimited pendant. Because of her studies in natural biology or something, Going to just having some trouble there. Does Byleth have time travel immunity? Boom. Oh, we're doing the Arbiters. This is going to be tight. Where did the... Okay, there's 3... Okay, we're totally there. Dope. So, arbitration. Main role of the player. Arbiters must mediate between Lavos and the life of the planet. They're the mediators of Lavos and the planet, according to Balthazar. This represents the game's eventual need for balance in the break and a truce with Pico. See, I don't know if you know, but the final ending of the game is not actually like, you know, well, it's up to the player really what to do, but at the end, some would argue it's a much better ending if you, the conditions are better if you do not aggressively attack Pico. There's no reason to. Luke is right. What's done is done. The break is created. He's out in the darkness beyond time. You know, he had his reasons to do what he did, and there's no reason to go mess with him. At any rate, there's a couple arbiters, and being an arbiter, oh yeah, a line from Chrono Cross says, there's a deep enmity between you and the world once you touch it. Regarding the frozen flames, frozen flame, what do you do here? Here you go. So Atropos knows a lot about that. And she's also responsible for the Ash tier, which is one of the only anyway, it's like it's an artificial frozen flame made by Luca. It doesn't have all the same capabilities of the frozen flame, and it's not linked to Lavos, but it is does allow for cross-dimensional travel in the epoch, and allows for if you let fate be powered by that at the end, then fate turns good. So it's a very good plot point to have. When is it good to have that plot point? What am I saying? I don't know. All right. Wow, how did I do that? That is a mess, but it's... Are you serious? Can I do this? How did that happen? If I change this, will it change that? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to do this. I haven't played any Fire Emblem, but I do like to play with Fire Emblem characters in Smash Brothers. I mean, I haven't played any Fire Emblem lately. I played all the Game Boy Advance ones. But I know that Byleth kicks some booty into Smash Brothers. Where is the color for the font? I can't choose the color I want. It's gone anyway. It's not worth it. Okay. But interesting to know that can definitely happen. Let's just do it this way. Now it's just not as good. I can't live without how it just was. That was so cool. Did I not? Text. All right, I think I know what to do. But I'm not going to do it now. Byleth can time travel using an ability called the Divine Pulse that's a retry clock. Oh, totally. And this one's super fluid, and the faster you... You know how the GameCube has the pressure controllers? It'd be like however fast you push the pressure would make them go backwards a little bit. Surprisingly limited. Yeah, that's a game mechanic that will potentially just ruin everything with its fun. But if you have a Tropus, you have the ability to do that if you like. Okay, what's this one? Oh, that's the one we're about to do now. Say thank you very much for this picture, which is that, and then all right, we're going in on the arbitration. Oh my gosh. That's way too big. Oh, there's color right there. Are you serious? After all this time, I just need to scroll down. All right, abort, abort. I'm aborting for a second. I need to organize here. Whew. Pretty sweet Minecraft thing, huh? Homosan brand. All right, we have several topics we can do. Ayla, Chrono, or prehistory. Oh, perfect. So who are the arbiters? You got... How do the arbiters react to feeling this enmity? Arbiter-based parties. Basically, if you want to split your party and travel into different places on the break, each party that goes needs to take an arbiter. Those are like the leaders. And so it makes sense that if they're arbiters, then the gameplay kind of ties into the story where they're inherently designed to kind of better the timeline and be a go between Lavos' influence and the planet, and sort of maintain the balance. A game over only happens when all the arbiters are dead. Actually, that's not true. If all the arbiters die... Wait. It is true. The only way to get to the Ayla ending is to choose to do the ancestral elements. I mean, the Ayla beginning. If all your arbiters die, then you're dead. What is an arbiter? There's a demi-human in Marbule that says anyone who touches the flame will become different. Does that necessarily mean that everyone who touches the flame is an arbiter? Not necessarily. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle does not have to be a square. So are there other ways to become an arbiter? And I swear, I'm not making this up, but I think I read one time the theory that Marl's existence outside of time might have given her arbiter status. And I don't quite get that, but I like it. It's this part. Let's talk about who the arbiters would be and why. Who is an arbiter? How is arbiter's status achieved? If the arbiter is simply one who has touched the flame, then surely Queen Zeal, Melchior... I don't know if we know that he's definitely ever touched the flame. Did he touch it? Did he touch it? The gurus and likely others who touched the flame over time would have become an arbiter. Could arbiter status be achieved in some other way? Yeah, totally. Exactly, Camaro. That's what we're talking about. I have the video here of the time when that happened, and now I'm just like biffing hard on this. Oh, people and things. That's an important one. That's so important. I bet it's in there. Hopefully it's in there. It's called Marl Evaporates. Found it. Oh, okay, that's not when she evaporates. That's her... That's lineage. Here it is. Oops. Hey, that should loop. Hey, why does it have to be square? No. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay. For the purposes of this story, we are going to expand the definition of what it means to be an arbiter a bit. Anyone who has existed for a time in the darkness beyond time, or temporal void, and left it, is considered an arbiter. I can't remember where I heard this theorized, but I will look it up before making the final video. This can only mean that this is not the final video, because I have not fact-checked myself on that. But I mean, I don't think I thought of that myself, so I like it, but I wish I thought of it. But at any rate, Marl is an arbiter. And she's in fact the default one that you get in the game. And that also explains why Atropos is an arbiter too. Because remember it said Atropos spent some time in the, it says Dead Sea, darkness beyond time, but also it could be the temporal void. Because she disappeared into a dissolved timeline for a while. In Chrono Trigger, her systems were damaged beyond repair. After her fight with Robo, she expires and then is restored in the good ending. So, she's an arbiter. And that means that even though she's not playable, you get the game mechanic of having unlimited pendant with her, and also you never have to restart the game. Oh, that's reminded me to write down to get the list of arbiters up here. So who else is an arbiter? Who else would be an arbiter in this case? I have a list here. I'm going to put them on the screen. First and foremost, who had so much experience with Lavos in original Chrono Trigger? I know who. Oops. Okay. Nice. Shala is an arbiter too. A little bit bigger than that. And who else? We actually have a list down here. I'm going to try to remember before I look at the list. If you're an arbiter, smack your butt. Okay. Yes. As evidenced by the cutscene here, where she's disappearing. And then Chrono saved her. Chrono and others. Okay, who else is an arbiter? How is arbiter status achieved? Okay, we talked about that. For this story, that includes Shala because of her... There's a thing that Balthazar said that he suspected she was an Arbiter, you know, because of her time with the Frozen Flame and the Mammon Machine. But I just realized that in this story, I'm not going to get into that, but basically, Dalton, it says in chapter 2 he rebuilt the Mammon Machine with the Frozen Flame, but if it didn't have the Frozen Flame the first time, that means that Shala is not an Arbiter. So if Shala is an Arbiter, that means that the first one definitely had the Frozen Flame. But Dalton just built it back better with so much better Dreamstone? I don't know. Might have found out a plot hole in my own thing here. Okay. Surge, traditional Arbiter designation. He's in fact the first Arbiter that we ever had, that we knew about. It's in my People and Things folder. The original Arbiter. The only playable Arbiter. We're going to say that there's a lot of Arbiters, but the only playable ones are, and now it's in the notes, Atropos, although she's not playable, she does have a part to play, and she's an Arbiter. Queen Zeal and Dalton might have also been Arbiters from having significant exposure to the Flame. We just really don't know much about Arbiter status, but we do know that in this game, Arbiter status is important in the game mechanics. Basically, if all the Arbiters are lost, the game over, you go to the traditional game over. Party defeated. Party defeated. Which now we are going to build the game over screen. Alright, so who's the total Arbiter crew? Arbitration ties into the main theme of Chrono Break, combattalism. We'll talk, that goes into detailed notes. Shala, Kid, Surge, Marl. Is Kid an Arbiter? I don't think so, now that I think about it. Because, I don't know. I guess we have to put it to a vote. Is Kid an Arbiter? Arbiter? Question? For gameplay purposes, I had already put her down as an Arbiter, but I'm questioning whether or not she is. Anyway, at any rate, here's the cool part about an Arbiter. The place that you start the game, if you get a game over, is based on the last Arbiter you had in your party that died. All of your Arbiters dying is a game over, but if you get a game over, you go to a unique starting point based on whichever Arbiter you were just playing as last. So Marl's starting point is the one we start with, but a few characters have starting points. So we know about the Marl start and the Ayla start. And I forgot where I put all the other starters. I'll take Ayla start out for now, because we can talk about it later. Ayla start. And put it on the desktop. Boop. Keep both. That's disheartening. Okay. What are we talking about here? So those... Hey, what happened to our Arbiters? They disappeared. There we go. So, say for instance you wanted to... There's someone missing in there. There is someone missing for sure. Magus? He's not listed. Maybe it is only just the 4. That, I kind of like that, because since Atropos is not playable, it kind of ties into the whole, like, you can have 3 parties just as much, it's like you can have 3 characters. That's the Arbiter squad. I don't know. It's not indefinite at any rate. If you destroy the Frozen Flame, then no one's an Arbiter. Atropos also has the abilities of an Arbiter, but was never directly involved with the flame. She basically hacked those abilities onto herself. She can switch between parties. Oh, yeah, this is it. This is the party split. So if you're in the break and you have, like, say, a party of all of Ayla's people, which is like 30, and then you have Chrono, Marl, Shala, or you have Chrono, Marl, Surge, and Robo, and Frog. You just finished the Battle of Zeal. Now you can split the parties and take, some people can go with Marl and some people can go with Surge. So your points of view in the break can split based on how many Arbiters you have. Out of these playable 3, Shala, Marl, and Surge. And Kid. We're going with definitely Kid, because Kid is basically Shala, and there's a really cool start for her. Maybe she doesn't need to be an Arbiter to have a cool start of her own, but we do have a very good sprite for her, so we're going to put her on the page. Sweet. Alright, and we're putting her on down here. Kid is, with a question mark, however, she gets her own start regardless. Like maybe if you die with Surge, you start with a kid start. If you die with Surge as the last Arbiter, you start from the kid start. I'm just spitballing here. At any rate, there are unique starts. Okay, party split. The one who connects with the frozen flame links to Lavos itself as the mediator between Lavos and living things. That one will gain extraordinary powers by binding with the new seed of time. All right, but Balthazar doesn't know everything, so we're just going to say maybe this whole binding with the new seed of time thing is not necessarily what happens. And the extraordinary powers are more like point of view in the break. Point of view powers. Basically, being a party in the break. Being a party. But if you destroy the frozen flame, then you can start making parties out of anyone, and you can go anywhere you want in the break. That's Balthazar, not always 100% right. Right a lot. He's got a good track record, but take it with a grain of salt. Also, anyone who comes into prolonged contact with the frozen flame after you get it. Oh yeah, you can earn Arbiter status. This is cool. Any character who equips the frozen flame for 200 battles will earn Arbiter status. Is it 200? I don't know. That sounds like it might be light considering how many battles there's supposed to be. I think 2,000. That sounds heavy. I don't know. Let's put this in. Boop. And as for the unique start of that person at that point, man, I don't even know. Maybe that could be the kid start. That can be kid start 2? I guess after... Shoot, man, I don't know. It's not that big a deal right now. Also, anyone who comes into prolonged contact with the frozen flame after you get it, you have to carry the flame for 200 battles to become an Arbiter. We just said that. Is it 200? Don't know. And also, anyone who goes to the temporal void and comes back. And that is TBD. How that happens. But I get the feeling like you could do a new game plus option where everyone that died in your previous... I guess that would be... We talked about that before. What is that? There was one... The Chrono Cross? I don't know. Figure it out later. So party split can happen. All right, cool. So those are the Arbiters, and that's also party split. There's more about party split, too. Party split. Okay. I think it's best to keep these together. Okay, perfect. Splitting parties and auto-fighting. Parties off somewhere else will continue to adventure, gain abilities, and experience. And keep in mind, there's only like 1 or 2 other parties out there. I mean, 40 people split, even if it was just 3, 3, 3, 3 ran away and you had all three. It's not like there's parties everywhere, is it? I don't know. What if this game was online and parties were everywhere? That would be nuts. It may work, but you also may lose party members you can't recover. Oh, right. So if you send them out... Oh, I know how it is. It's like you can send certain people away from Breakwave Point. And you can choose not to follow their point of view. Or you can send out parties of people and not follow them and have them auto fight, and they will continue to gain abilities and experience. But it may also happen that you lose party members you can't recover, or it may not work. Like you might, if they go adventuring into the wrong place, maybe there's like a 2% chance their party just never returns, no matter who's in it. It's way more likely to work if you put a guest with them. Whole parties may not return, but auto questing may be more guarantee, maybe more likely to work to be successful if you put a guest with them. All guests are strong. However, the guest may also die. You just don't know. Party split and auto adventuring. Once A-list tribe is on the board, you can split your party any way you wish. That sounds more fun than just the Arbiter thing. Maybe you can split your parties however you want, and the Arbiters are just control the game over. You can only travel through gates 3 at a time, but you can instruct as many of the tribe as you want to follow. That kind of sounds like a cop-out. I don't know if I like that. I guess in the break you don't need gates. The rule of 3. That'd be funny if the rule of 3 worked only when you're going through a time gate, because like the break's so big that like if you go through that's wrong. That picture is supposed to be the Battle of Zeal, by the way, right when you get to the break. Oh, sweet. Because remember, Luca was working on this since the beginning, right? Nah. Luca was... You think she wouldn't have finished this invention by now? So now she's got like teleportation pods everywhere. Not everywhere, but you know, she's only one woman. But anyway, there's teleportation pods. And what I wanted to say was it's like a time gate thing. But I wanted to find the close time gate. Oh, here it is. Perfect. All right. The heck with it. We're putting these together. I just put people in the items folder. That was a mistake. I guess they would not be. Most likely they would. I'm just going to go with blue for now. Even though I think most likely these would be red gates. Anyway. Like, that looks bad. But let's say there's a gate up there. And there's a gate there. This time gate will take you to a different point of the map, because where the place, it looks like you traveled in time, but then if you run back the other way long enough, you'll find that place that you just left. That's how the break works. Things you do on one part of the map will affect another part of the map. I don't know what this is doing way out here randomly. I guess it just isn't supposed to be here. Put it there. Teleportation. All right, let's see. Party split. Once Ayla's tribe, you can also leave them in a particular time to level up automatically. However, auto-adventuring risks losing party members forever. There's no arbiter with the party. You don't stay with them, meaning your point of view. You don't. That's actually a not. That's just a. You know, send people out and let it happen without you going. You don't play that. Homie, don't play that. If you send them into a crazy place, you may never see that party again, okay? Splitting of the camps. It was beyond their notice or reach. There's a heartfelt tragedy of there about friend adventurers who are saving time and space without knowing about the other's impact. Trans-dimensional parties does work, especially if they are trapped in a field. I don't know what that means. Trapped in a field? A major theme is how the split parties don't have knowledge of each other until crucial team-up moments. At certain times, the parties will randomly swoop in and save the day. Oh, that's right. I got it. I know what I'm trying to say here. You may never see them again, or you may get a call for help from them, or you can call them for help if you need it, maybe. Stuff like that. They're out there still, even if they're not actually under your supervision. If you get a call from help for them, you can go help them too. Once in the break, the player can send any number of any party into any region, can switch back and forth between parties at any time at any point in the break after you get what? A tropos. No, not a tropos. After you destroy the frozen flame. But if you do that, well, you will not get a start. I just realized that's what it is. If you destroy the frozen flame, there are no more arbiters, but also you do not get to new game plus. You don't get to start. You don't get to keep looping. You have to start all the way as Marl level 1. New game regular. Consider, even if all the cavemen and arbiters die, New Game Plus is not an option when you return to the start menu. That's what we did. All right, awesome. Because the frozen flame is what's in charge of like the loop. So if you destroy the frozen flame, it has benefits, but also now you're really on your own forever. Sort of. I don't know if this is all exactly perfect, but that's the mechanics of arbitration. And now we need to do the what? Now we're going to do the gameplay of arbitration. Arbitration all day. Oh, let's just add it in to the one we got. That makes the most sense. That's a bunch of notes about the theme and why arbitration should be the theme. On YouTube, part 2 of the videos that we made last year, Rod Rodrigo comments, he has like a huge long thing. I guess I can just put it up. Combatalism. Part 2. All right. We are pulling the trigger on part 2. I forgot what we were looking for, though. Oh, the comments. Perfect. Perfect. Combatalism. Hey, they're all gone. Okay, let's just read what I took off then. It's kind of long. Basically, the point of it... Oh, no, this is good stuff. All right, I'm putting it on the arbitration file. First, want to reiterate that giving us development of the original Chrono Trigger cast is the most important thing to do in this game, or it's in the very forefront. Oh, sweet. This is it. Okay, we talked a lot about this. Who's an Arbiter? Yes. Detailed notes. Arbitration ties into the main theme, combatalism. The Chrono Cross Ultimania claims the Arbiter of the Frozen Flame must mediate between his fellow life forms and Lavos, or else he will inevitably bind with the creature and spell destruction for the humans. Which is what happened to the Queen and Dalton. So they probably were Arbiters. That's big. Which is what happened to Queen Zeal and Dalton. Though the Ultimania says some, and Fate too, to some extent, pretty much. And Azala, and it's cliche at this point, everyone gets corrupted by, so they were all Arbiters. Oh, you know what that means. It's time to come to the party. Say hello to the Queen. All right, there's Azala. She was an Arbiter. Hadn't really thought of her as playable, but wouldn't that be something? Azala in the party? Wow, weird. Pico in the party? Could happen. It's not in my original notes, but... Alright, we're just putting Azala up there for fun. Azala, Azala. Yeah, she's probably... That's kind of crazy. I'm glad she's on that role there right now. Okay, what's this say? The role of Arbiter is probably had a larger role lost within the peripheral storyline that did not make it into Chrono Cross. Okay, not totally relevant. The Arbiter is hinted at as being a mediator between humans and Lavos capable of guiding his species. It's been stated before, and it's not just humans. It is suggested that if the Arbiter does not make a favorable decision, he will become integrated with Lavos, spelling doom for the rest of his kind. Favorable decision? Does not... What does that mean? We're going to put that one up for debate. So what happened to the Queen and Dalton that made them spell doom? The Arbiter does not keep it in check? I like that better than make the right decision. So it's kind of like this growing power in them. That's kind of weird implications for how they're all like kind of evil. I don't know if I like that. We're just going to leave this as does not do something. He or she will become integrated with Lavos, spelling doom for the rest of his kind. Honestly, that's all like could happen, but let's just delete it all. Ultimania speculated that Shala was an Arbiter in Zeal, probably controlling the flames used in the Mammoth machine, and this link is what caused Lavos to merge with her and become the Time Devourer. Also theorized by Balthazar. He thought the same thing. Part of this depends on whether the Frozen Flames creation was an accident, and whether Lavos normally selects a sort of powerful acolyte such as Queen Zeal. I don't like any of that. But I guess I have to keep it. Lavos selects arbiters, or they are made by exposure. I think it's an easy sell for me. This one makes way more sense. Right. Oops, freeze it. Oh, let's just delete all that. Okay. I think we're done with arbiters for today. We did all that. Why are we just repeating what we already did? All right. I'm going to forget about it for now. Boop. Compatibilism. Compatibilism. All right. That's gone. Party splits is gone. Party splits. Okay. Theme arbitration. Oh, this is going to be it. Awesome. Okay, this is kind of long. I'm going to paraphrase. Are humans... Alright, we got to switch up the... Ooh, spooky. Are humans harvesters? Or what? Yeah, me too. Why am I trying to make this record of fate happen? I should just let it go. Where does it go? Okay.
「時代を作ろうとする者がいる」「時の流れを超えようとする意志がある」「その思いは遥か昔から遠き未来へと広がる」
Balthazar did a pretty good job in Chrono Cross, designing Project Kit to free Shala from the time devour and save the universe. Too bad for everyone after Chrono Cross. Playing God and splitting, reunifying dimensions willy-nilly brought unforeseen consequences. That maybe Balthazar had gone too far, ordering her to do this deed, but she'd complied, hadn't she? No matter the ultimate outcome, it was finished. All the peoples of the planet were now free from Lavos' interference. Free to write a new future, not of Lavos' making, but of their own. Oh, and one other thing was for sure. No matter what came to pass now, the dull moodled nightmare she escaped from had surely been averted. Besides, Kid, Magus, Chrono, and the rest, they were always going to be out there somehow. If there's one thing she learned in her 3 decades on the planet, it was that there were as many worlds as potentialities. But what to do now? Sure, she and Robo had saved the future again. They were just 2 tiny organisms in eternity, and they still had lives to live. So what to do with the rest of their days? After the battle, Luca wants to go back to the crater right away to study the remains of Lavos. But she doesn't get the chance before she's distracted by big trouble, the kind she can't ignore. Thanks to Luca's warning, the Reptites evacuated Lavos Impact Zone, and most of the Reptites survived. Unfortunately, a lot of the humans didn't. You see, just before Lavos crashed, Migo and Gigi had gathered many warriors from many tribes to a staging ground near Tyranno Lair. They were just about to launch a massive final attack on the Reptites with the intent of ending the war once and for all. Due to religious and symbolic stuff, they had planned their ultimate attack to coincide with the falling of the Red Star. Unfortunately, they had no idea the Red Star was going to fall right on them, and the humans lost almost all their people that day. The survivors reminded Luca of Doan and the others that she and Chrono had met in 2300 AD so long ago, completely defeated, helpless, and hopeless. The fact they were asking the Reptites, their mortal enemies, for help was proof that they'd pretty much given up. Of course, the reptites are tired of fighting with humans, who had always been the primary aggressor in their war anyway. It's an eyebrow-raising statement, but the humans are in no condition to protest. They accept Azala's olive branch, as the wicked reptite queen promises once more that the fighting is over. She only wants to make a new world for everyone. She slyly gives Luca and Robo the task of building a community suitable for the human survivors, and assigns them a whole bunch of reptites to help out. If Luca wants the humans to be spared, they can be her responsibility. Now, we all know that inside Luca is a blazing spark of curiosity and scientific wonder. Since they'd killed Lavos and the body was just laying around waiting to be studied, that spark had been growing into an inferno. Even though it pained her tremendously to delay the investigation of Lavos, this issue with the humans took priority. Above all, Luca and Robo care about others. And even though the humans attacked Luca before, because she wasn't in the Divine Dragon fan club, now it was a different story. This time, Migo and Gigi were nowhere to be found, and their survivors clearly needed their help. Besides, Robo's dream of healing the enmity between the humans and the reptites never left Luca's mind. Now it seemed within reach.
Heavy breathing.
Could this
Sound
be their chance?
very
This
funny.
could be their chance. And so Luca and Robo put all of their...
Alright, that's enough for that for now. Just like snorting and breathing heavily into the microphone the whole time. I would love to see an Aleph Luca dual tech, and that really plays so much into the story how they were partners before. What about guest status? Seriously. Sound ridiculous. This needs to be its own. What's going on here? Oops. That was Dead Cells. I'm losing focus. I'm going off mic for a while. So the Chrono variants are Chrono, Old Chrono, which we met last time, and Chrono. Our Chrono. He's not gone, but he comes later. He's the second Chrono you can get. Surge, Luca, and our old Luca as well. Even though this is our old Luca. Hey, what happened? There we go. Even though this does become our Luca, you also can still get old Luca. Like this is actually old Luca, but you can get OG Luca. Keystone Luca, as she's called. Oh, man, I can't believe that was right there. The Prince of Guardia Chrono. I guess that's Prince of Guardia Chrono. Is available after visiting 1005 AD in New Game Plus. He is very strong and remembers everything about Chrono Trigger. He's our Chrono. I'm not sold totally on this design, but yeah. Chrono OG is in the game. Of course. Of course, man. Crazy. You cannot have a Chrono Trigger without a Chrono.